Lippitt, owner of the Hill Street Group and host of Communication is an Art, the podcast. I'm a communication strategist, a public speaker, and a leadership trainer. Most weeks, I'll be joined by other communication specialists, but every few weeks, you'll hear from just me to equip you, the listener, with practical tools and strategies to navigate through your day with confidence. These podcasts are always non-scripted and conversational. So let's dive into this together. Hi, this is Pamela Lippitt from Communication is an Art, the podcast. Today's episode is a little different because, as you can tell, I have no voice. So what do you do when you're in the communication world and you have no voice because you're getting over a horrible cold that was probably COVID, but you're not sure? You know what you do? You reach into your archives and you pull out a great presentation from Marketing for the Self-Employed, hosted by MellerMarketing.com and Brenda Meller, and you let your full audience listen to it because it was a good presentation during a live-a-thon with good feedback, and I thought you'd enjoy. So listen away. It's about 10 minutes. Bye. About connecting, communicating, and succeeding. And I'm a networker, a podcaster, a public speaker, a leadership and corporate trainer. And my goal at this point is to help other people. So with that being said, during the next 10 minutes, I want you to kind of put down your phone, get ready to take some notes, either put your questions in the chat, which I can't see at the moment, or take notes, and then join me in the breakout room. Please join me in the breakout room. I'm having anxiety that no one will join me. I said that to a friend last night. What if no one joins me? And it's a perfect lead in to my talk today, because also post about me on social media, but it's a perfect start to my real presentation as we go. You, especially if you're a solopreneur like I am, are your brand. It's why I just renamed my business to my name, because people know me by name. People know you by name, and they are connected to you by that introduction you make and how you connect with them. So I'm about helping people when you leave a room and you don't know 3 things about them, or you need some more strategy. You know, you're not getting the feedback you want, but you don't know what is off kilter, and you need to figure those things out. I talk a lot about introverts versus being shy. I would say I'm definitely a shy person. It's shocking to most of you if you know me, but I really am very shy. And I really try to not have to leave a conversation anymore saying, oh, I just should have said, that when someone gives you we're in a good place, right? But sometimes people in a family situation or a dramatic situation, 24 hours later, you think, I should have said that. Now I know. Should I call him back and say that? No, you should not. But it's good to know and good to practice for next time. So I like to flip the switch, especially if you're nervous about going places. And I have to tell you, I'm always nervous about going places. So you need to think about why you want people to be drawn to you. Why are they looking for you? And what can you do to fulfill that idea? So I'm here to tell you, you are interesting, you are entertaining, you have valuable connections with other people that you don't even know about. Let's think about what those are, and think about the fact that you may not even know what things are, but there's something, if you make a good, strong relationship, that 6 months, 9 months, 3 years, 10 years from now can make a difference. I sent out my newsletter announcing my name change a couple months ago, about a month ago. Someone connected with me who I have not talked to in 10 years, and I have a proposal out to them. So you just don't know when the moment's going to come up. So you always have to be a little bit prepared. Well, that's not true. I think you have to be a lot of it prepared. You have to set your expectations. You have to figure out what you want to accomplish and figure out how to follow up. And a lot of those are things that we go into well in depth in other programs. But today I'm really trying to stay to my 10-minute piece, and I have no idea where I'm at, but I bet you I finish at 9.5, 10 minutes. So I find the most important thing when you're talking to someone is to be yourself. Lots of times we think we have to be this recorded robot spitting up information at someone else. And I don't think that's true. I don't think any of us think that's true. I think you have to be prepared. You have to know what you're going to say. We all know those people. Well, I'm in a chamber group, and at the monthly meetings, there's a big circle of people, and we go around the room. And you always know the people who have been through training, who have been told to have their memorized pitch of an introduction. Well, you know what? I know it's memorized. I never want to sound memorized. I want to be able to talk to a person and to feel like a person is listening to me. So I hope that everyone in this audience now, and it's a great audience, is listening to me, not a monologue. I'm trying to talk to all of you individually, even though I know there's so many people. I'm going to give you a quick example of that. If I had a slide up at a program and I said to you, introduce yourself. And I say, my background includes being a small business owner, nonprofit director, a CEO and chief communicator of Pamela Lippitt Communications. I'm a networker. Da, da, da. Okay, I've rehearsed that. I know it for sure. But you know what? It's really not what you want to hear. You want to hear that I'm here to meet you, to introduce myself, to see where the conversation flows to. That's always the mark of success, when the conversation flows. So what do I suggest to you? I suggest that it's not a race. It is not a race to spit out everything you know about yourself. And if you're an entrepreneur, certainly not all the versions of your product or your company that failed. Nobody wants to know that. They want to know why you're succeeding. I had that happen recently where someone literally that I met at a networking event told me 7 ways his company has failed so far. Now, if I had deep pockets and I was thinking of investing, because I think that was his bottom line, I don't want to invest in someone who starts out by telling me the ways they fail. I want people to invest. I want to invest with people who tell me why they're succeeding now. So think about how you're kind of flexing that muscle to promote yourself as someone successful. So I say it's not a rat race. Take a pause, take a breath, and then listen, really listen to what the other person is saying, because that's really the key to it all. So the key to it all is believing in yourself, investing in yourself. All these cute little words on this cute little slide I have, but they really mean it. The mindset of believing that people are listening to you is simply amazing. So let's connect. Let's book a discovery call if you want some other stuff. And really, really, really listen to my podcast, Communication is an Art, where you hear from other people in the communication world as well as me, always with takeaways and tips for as you go. So I hope I'm somewhere near 10 minutes. And I'll put this back up later, but that's where I'm at. Hopefully, we have a couple more minutes. I'm going to get rid of I'm going to, stop sharing. I'm going to come back into Zoom
Here, I got you,
And
Pam.
there, okay,
I'm
thank
gonna
you.
come
There
back
I
on
am.
screen with you. This is the good
Okay.
thing when you have, I always say a good friend will always tell you if you have spinach on your teeth. You've
I
heard that
don't, do I?
expression maybe, right? But a good friend will also help you out when you're in a Zoom because when you're I don't know if you all realize this. This is like when you go to the movies and then when you come out of the movies and you always feel a little disoriented, like you're in the real world again, you're not in the movie world that you were. It's kind of like that when you're presenting on Zoom. Like after you're done presenting, you're in a little bit of a
Well,
bubble of the real
it's
world. You're
like an
coming
out
back
of
and you're like,
body experience
it is an
almost.
out of body experience. And it gets a little jarring. That's why, first of all, this is obviously live because we wouldn't be doing all the stuff, if it was like
Right.
highly pre-recorded and all that good stuff. So you know that it's real, but also friends help each other out. If you see typos in my post, Pam, you will message me. You'll let me know. And the same thing, if I see you struggling, I'll jump in and I'll help you out.
And you'll definitely correct me. And so here's my tip to everyone. If you send something out and someone comes back to you and says there's mistakes, here's my go-to answer. Yay, you won the contest. You were the first one to find the mistake. It was planted.
The funny thing is sometimes I will actually give something away to people. Like, for example, recently I changed from Calendly to
Yes.
TidyCal. And now I have to like change all of my calendar links from Calendly to TidyCal. And I had somebody book a session with me and he emailed me back and he's like, the link isn't working. And I felt really bad because he just paid money to work with me and he can't book. And I said, I'm going to send you a free copy of my book for letting me know. So thank you for that. And then here's the corrected link on that.
Yeah.
At any rate, Pam, I want to make sure I ask you the question.
Yes.
Um, do you have any resources you'd like to share with people?
Yes, so they'll be in the links later. I have a free checklist about networking, about how to make sure you're doing the right things in the right order, and you'll be able to download that. And then I also have a resource called Mastering Confident Marketing. And that is on a special summer price of $36. It's a guided worksheet. And then if you ask me questions at the end, I'm happy, DM me on LinkedIn with questions as you're going on. I'm happy to answer them as well. But it sets you up to really be conversational and incorporate others into the mix as opposed to just front on spitting,
Yeah.
that verbal
Wonderful.
spit. So
Wonderful.
look
Love
at
it.
us,
Thank you,
we're
Pam.
really on time.
I told you I run a tight ship. And by the way, remember at the beginning I said this event is like getting a free sample of all these individuals, which is great because it's free. It's like going to the deli counter and asking for a slice of cheese. I literally was like, "Ooh, cheese, that sounds good." And then I remembered I bought cheese the last time I was at the deli, and it's like the marble kind. I don't know what kind it is, but
Oh,
so I'm like, I'm gonna have a little snack right now. But I
oh,
want to
sounds
thank you,
good.
Pam. I'm going to take you off screen, and we'll remind everyone that
Okay.
we will have you available for Q&A in the breakout sessions.
Hi, this is Pam Lippitt from the Hill Street Group. Thank you for listening to Communication is an Art. Make sure you subscribe and continue to listen. We really appreciate it. Share with your friends all those different lovely things. And we will be back soon. Have a great day.